Hello, everyone. I'm excited today to speak to Amy Brady, Chief Information Officer and Executive Vice President at KeyCorp. Amy is a member of the Executive Council and the Executive Leadership Team at KeyCorp. As you would all know, KeyCorp has a rich history of about 190 plus years and is today one of the United States' largest banks. And it's got more than $170 billion in assets. So very substantial bank. Oracle Financial Services is a technology partner in KeyBank's multi-year digital transformation initiative. We are working with KeyBank to turn it into a truly digital bank from a customer experience, engagement processes, and core operations perspective. And together, we've made great progress. While I didn't have the opportunity this year to speak to Amy at one of our financial services summits, I look forward to having this virtual conversation with Amy. We will discuss how KeyBank is progressing on its digital journey and look at how KeyBank responded to the extraordinary circumstances and customer requirements due to this pandemic. Welcome, Amy, and thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Sonny. It's great to be with you.
Great. So, Amy, we spoke on stage at a couple of our financial services industry events over the years, and you've shared with us how KeyBank is undertaking a digital all-in strategy to progressively transform the bank, and you are ahead of many of your peers. As your technology partner, we hear and see the real impact of how customers access the bank, how quickly they are serviced, and the frictionless and meaningful experience they receive. So could you share from your perspective what have been the key milestones and the impact of this strategy?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be here, albeit virtually together. And I guess that's the theme of 2020. And what a remarkable year it's been. And I guess a wonderful year in a way to showcase this journey we've been on. We did start this transformational journey, as you know, many years ago to say that we wanted to digitize our enterprise. And thank goodness we started several years ago. And along the way, the building blocks that we have put into place have truly helped us this year continue to deliver for our clients. And positioned us to build on the momentum that we have had to kind of accelerate this year. So our digitized journey has now become a strategic imperative for our new CEO, who took over the helm of our company in the midst of this pandemic on May 1st. And so we continue our focus to digitize from the front end all the way through to the back end. I think what our focus continues to be is one, how do we continue to build upon digital originations for consumer clients and commercial clients? So how do we continue to build those capabilities for our existing clients so that they can expand their relationships, and for new clients who want to join the KeyBank family? And then how do we continue to build servicing capabilities for our existing clients? And there are new capabilities that we haven't added, so those self-service capabilities for consumers and for commercial clients. And then, of course, how do we continue to enhance those capabilities to make it easier for our clients? And of course, the pandemic has pointed out lots of opportunities where our clients maybe hadn't engaged with us in a self-service way prior to this pandemic, but because of new ways of operating that we were all forced to learn how to do, we've now had to accelerate those capabilities. And of course, then you think about all of the things on the back end. We've always been focused on the end-to-end piece of digitizing. When we had to force all of our own operations to go to work from home, it really, again, catalyzed our thinking around changing the way we looked at our own processes. And so we saw a lot of creativity and innovation. Of course, they always say, never let a good crisis go to waste. And so again, this momentum of building on the foundation that we've had has really catalyzed our thinking around our strategy and brought the company together around thinking about how do we build those processes and leverage the tools we've put into place. So I think it's exciting. I'll give you a very specific example that we've leveraged our Oracle banking platform that we put into place several years ago. So think about default. And unfortunately, when you enter into a time period like we're in, we see an increase or the potential of increase of consumer default. Now, the good news is we've been able to help a lot of our clients through multiple programs and forbearance, et cetera. But we had in our default area not invested a lot of front end self-service capabilities for our default services, if you will. And so we had pretty traditional ways of interacting with our clients. And those were phone and letters and emails. And so now you find yourself in this pandemic where that is not necessarily the most efficient and effective way of doing it when you have different operating rhythms with your own employees. And so we leveraged our Oracle banking platform and the way that we had already captured data of our clients. And we have launched a whole new way of being able to interact with our clients through our digital platforms and are now able to deliver some self-service capabilities where our clients can now interact with our systems and our and then ultimately our agents and have a much better interaction that they can guide for themselves and a much better experience, all helping them and helping us and helping our agents, making it more seamless. And again, in a way that is more efficient and effective. So these are all things that you wanted to do ultimately, but we were forced to do and could do it faster in a time when maybe we were forced to do it because of the pandemic. So those building blocks helped us to be able to do it faster and leverage the technologies that we put in place. That's just one simple example.
That's great. I think clearly, having started this journey, very strategic fashion a few years ago, definitely put this entire transformation and made it very, very timely, given this unexpected set of circumstances this year. I think that was very useful. We got an insight from Amy on not only the customer experience during the pandemic, using all digital processes and digital experiences, but also their internal operations. Mm-hmm. So let's pick on that a little more. Given the strong momentum in digital now, I think everybody's realizing that they need to transform their businesses, and it's now more of an imperative than a nice to have. And it's not just coming in from a competitive standpoint, it's literally coming in as an existential approach to business. And today, you are acquiring a lot more customers online. You are delivering more and more of your products and services on digital channels. And you're also continuing to invest more in further digitizing the bank's key operations. So from this vantage point, it'll be interesting to hear what are the next set of milestones in your digital journey. Here, let's look at maybe a year or two out and see where KeyBank is now focused as it continues down this path.
Yeah, so there are many, and there's probably too many to go into in this time that we have together. But broadly, I would say, again, one of our strategic pillars would be to digitize the enterprise. And when you think about that, you could go so many places with that, right? And again, it is to meet our clients where they need us to be from an originations and from a servicing perspective. And that will continue to evolve. But if we step back, we want to be able to originate all of our capabilities, all of our products for all of our segments in a digital way, whether that is fully self-service or in some assisted way, because some of our products clearly we know will not be 100% self-service. You can think about some of your more complex commercial products or some of your more complex commercial payments products. You might want to have some digital assisted kind of guided process with a relationship manager, as an example. So, but we want to have it where the client can originate if they choose, or if they choose to do with a relationship manager, that there is that that journey is available to them. And the same thing with the servicing of their accounts. And so we have to have that available to our clients. So that is a journey that we're on and we expect to deliver. Then if you think about our processes, we continue to say all the way through our processes, the automation, the tools that are available to us, the chat that's available to us, the natural language processing. I mean, all of the myriad of things that you can combine together to deliver exceptional service for our clients, make jobs easier for our employees, make it easier for our employees to work in different operating models that are definitely required at this point. You think about, here's a tangible example. Prior to COVID, 90% of our contact center agents that are part of my organization worked in a physical facility. Today, 90% of our contact center agents are working remote. And so that takes a different set of tools and capabilities than if we have them all sitting in a physical facility together, right? And we need to make their jobs easier, and we need to be able to onboard agents in a different way. And so we need to leverage technology and tools to be able to allow them to do their jobs and service our clients differently, right? And so leveraging the technology to do that. So you could just go area by area by area across our institution, and there are just, it's a treasure trove of opportunity and how we can apply technology to solve our problems and deliver different milestones, if you think about it that way. Very exciting opportunities, like we have announced that on March 30th of 2021, we will launch our national digital bank for doctors and nurses as a part of our expansion of Laurel Road, which was an acquisition we did a little over a year ago, which was a fully digital organization that we bought that was focused on doctors, and we are now going to go national with that and expand that product line from student loans, refinancing of student loans, and adding the full banking product suites. So again, fully digital launch there. And so there are different places, again, that we have those milestones put out for the company, but again, all focused on meeting the client's needs and then building all the way through the processes. I think what's really exciting is that and you've heard so many people say this, that the pandemic has clearly accelerated digital transformations across all industries, I think, probably 5 years, right? And it's because, in my mind, it's because, one, clients are demanding it because they now are forced to use technologies in ways that maybe they had not been forced to use it prior to the pandemic. And our employees are using technologies and adopting technologies in ways that maybe in the past they had resisted a little bit. So I'll give you another example, Sonny. We've been trying to get the adoption of digital signatures for years, right? It's not a new technology. Digital signatures have been around for a long time, right? Well, when the Payment Protection Program came out, PPP, we had to launch that program within a week, right? As did all financial institutions. So we were ready to launch. We went out there, and of course, that was at the height of the lockdown, right? So our clients are all locked down, our relationship managers are all locked down, and in a typical year, we would process about 800 small business loans through the SBA. In about a week, we took over 45,000 applications. Okay, so 800 to 45,000, all virtually, all digitally, and all with a digital signature. Now this mindset shift, right? So this is relationship managers who would say in the past, no, our clients aren't going to want to sign loan documents digitally. our relationship managers would say, no, 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 we need to be there to help sign those documents with our with our clients, because that's part of building the relationship. All of those were signed digitally. By the way, the SBA wouldn't have accepted digital signatures until that time. They too had to change their processes. Well, guess what? We're never going back. That is forever changed, right? Our relationship managers now have accepted that technology. Our clients have accepted that technology. Actually, our clients expect that technology now. So going forward, think about all of the places across our processes that have signature. They now expect that to be digital. So we have to deliver that to our clients. So these minor changes are major if you think about the number of times that occurs in a financial institution. So it's exciting for the engineers because we have an opportunity to really re-engineer those processes that we've been talking about trying to do for decades, and build on that momentum. But the time is now, and it's a lot, and we got to act with speed, and a sense of urgency to get it all done.
Certainly. I think, in fact, that was a great example of not only these extraordinary circumstances driving the need for this transformation, but in addition to that, it's also creating an adoption momentum, because it's now becoming the way people will work. So one of the biggest challenges of deploying technology is to drive the adoption, and here we are. One of the good things that will come out of this pandemic is that people will realize that this is the new way of working, is the new way of doing things, and you have to get on board. So clearly there'll be, despite all the pain and suffering that it'll continue to cause for some time, as it has, we will see some positive nuggets coming out of the pandemic, and that's what we should focus on and take advantage of as we come out on the other side. I think one other thing I'd like to get your views on is, clearly you've talked about what KeyBank is doing from a transformation perspective, but you operate in a fairly broad ecosystem, and I believe that KeyBank has also taken some bold steps in being an early adopter of what we call, the fintech ecosystem, and you've built some pretty strategic partnerships such as the Avid Exchange, FiSpan, and all of these have been very successful. You've also introduced new revenue streams for the bank, broaden your portfolio with examples like Hello Wallet and financial wellness, and you yourself alluded to the Laurel Road acquisition. So, we know that as a part of bringing these fintechs across, many of these companies have been born in modern technology paradigms. So as this technology landscape changes this rapidly, and from your particular vantage point as being responsible for the technology transformation of the bank, what are the next set of trends that you're watching carefully, and which are the ones that get you excited in terms of not only exploiting but incorporating into the day-to-day motions of the bank?
Yeah, and it is funny because you mentioned Key is a 190-year plus old organization, and my job as the CIO, I often say, is to take this almost 200-year-old organization and change us and help us act and behave like we were born digital, right? So that we behave like we're a digital native, and that's the fun part of the job. And look, the digital trends are not new, the fintech trends are not new, and open banking in essence is not new. Those trends have been around. They're clearly undeniable macro trends that are been hitting financial services for quite some time. Yet I think the acceleration cannot be ignored, right? And so one of the things we've done actually just this past month or two is we've created an open banking engineering team in our organization, and we specifically called it an open banking engineering team. And it's not that we haven't been creating, as you mentioned, APIs and connecting with fintech organizations and leveraging partnerships to create new revenue streams and new services for our clients, because we've been doing that for years, and we've been creating that architecture internally. And it was funny when we announced it. We're like, internally, we're like, "Have you guys? Are we launching open banking?" And we said, no. But we really wanted to change the mindset shift to make sure that we are internally as an engineering team creating services that are reusable, and that we are acting in a way that builds things that we can connect with speed and move even faster than we are today, and really challenging ourselves to continue to take our engineering practices to the next level, right? So we're kind of pushing ourselves. So I think that is a trend that we all need to watch. And I do think we will connect internally and externally to services, because I do not think we need to own and build them all ourselves for our clients. I think there are different ways to insert in the ecosystem of value chain that for our clients, because we serve such a broad population of clients, and where we can insert our services into that value chain, is different for each segment. And so having our architecture ready to plug into those processes, I think, is really important. So you will continue to see us push that and push those partnerships. It's also fun for our engineers, right? So I think that's good. On top of that, I think that by us creating this engineering team, it pushes us also with security protocols and identity protocols, Sonny, which I think is also important, because we have to be able to make these connections, make digital easy for our clients, but we have to make it secure. There is also no doubt that this time that we're living in has also been an open harvesting time for hackers and threat vectors to enjoy a new landscape. And we have got to stay smarter and ahead of all of that as well. And so our engineers need to drive speed, agility, but security. And so we can't be so complex with our security that it bogs down our processes that our clients don't want to interact with us, but we can't let our guards down either. So we're investing a lot into our security to keep things easy for our clients, but at the same time really, really secure for them and for us. And so that's a complicated space, and it's only going to get, in my opinion, more complicated. So that's a trend that I think we cannot ignore.
I agree. I think that is going to become, with more of our life moving online into all of these virtual processes, it is going to create opportunities for bad actors, and that's going to be an entire vector that we'll have to worry about. In addition to delivering capabilities, it's going to be critical to make them secure. So, wow, what a wonderful set of insights, Amy. As usual, thank you so much. It was really great hearing about the journey that KeyBank has been on and how it's been able to leverage, its strategic approach to digital transformation at a critical time like this, in benefit of not only its customers but also its internal operations. And from my standpoint, it's been a privilege, participating in this journey with KeyBank. We really enjoy working with a forward-looking organization such as the bank and the technology group that you run. And we look forward to continuing to participate in this journey as we head through the next few milestones. So thank you so much for joining us today and sharing these insights with our viewers. Thanks for joining, Amy.